Well, hello! Happy New Year! It's officially 2026. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's the new year. It's 2026. It's... Alright, listen. Listen up. I ain't gonna say new year, new me. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna make this year my... I'm not gonna say anything like that. Alright? I just said it. Knock on wood. I'm not gonna jinx it. Knock on wood. This is cork wood. I'm not gonna jinx it this year because we never know what's gonna happen, alright? The next thing you know, I'm gonna get into a car wreck and it's gonna be a whole thing. Anyway, look at me! I'm making 2 videos in a row! 2 consecutive weeks. Isn't that interesting? Wow, maybe something's happening. Maybe I'm motivated or something. This year, as artists, we are going to set realistic expectations for ourselves, alright? We are going to not go full send and quit our jobs this year. Hence my last video. We are going to create goals with step-by-step actionable actions that are going to make us progress. Yeah. Actionable actions that are so easy you'd have to be a complete blob to not follow through with them. Okay, now listen. If you're a creative like me, you're probably more right-brained. Am I right? You've got imagination. You probably got great ideas. But when it comes to managing spreadsheets, when it comes to working through Excel, you're gonna sleep through it. I mean, as for me and my right-brainedness, I can't do numbers. I'm not a logistics person. I'm not organized by any means, is what I'm trying to say. And honestly, I'm surprised I've gotten this far in life. But if there's anything I've learned from being a corporate slug over the last few years, it's that with the right motivations, annual strategic plans actually work. And I think if you want your hobby to turn into a business, you need to treat it like one. If you watched my last video about the end of year reflections, I was cleaning this place up. I was cleaning the studio. I've got lots of things going on, but I also have a bookshelf now. Yay! So I'm gonna be putting some art on there, and I'm going to be clearing some things up. I have some really cool props I can't wait to show you. I am determined to no longer use this room as a catch-all for everything. I had to re-clean it actually for this video, so it's not working for me. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I just got too much junk. Anyway, I want it to be a working studio that like inspires me and helps with my creative flow. It doesn't feel like a chore just to come in here because there's just so much. So yeah, so let's refresh the space while I go over how we can plan out the year to maximize our productivity and creativity as artists. Now this is the fun part. I like to call this manifesting because I think it's extremely important to have a clear image in your head of what you want your future life to look like. If you could have anything in the world, what would it be? What's your dream job? My friends and I love to play this little game where we all grab a sheet of paper and visualize what we want to manifest. We are encouraged to draw it out with colorful markers. Some may feel inclined to make a collage from photos, and some of us just write it out. I kind of do a mix of it all. Essentially, you're making a mini vision board. We usually do this for general life stuff, but let's just do this for our art business right now. You know, I do see manifestation as a spiritual practice, but I also think there's something deeply psychological about it as well. I think when we can physically see it, you know, perhaps maybe you put the poster up on your wall, you see it every day, you're reminded of it, it can help you stay tunnel visioned on your goals, and you start to take opportunities or even see opportunities that you've never seen before, and you're more willing to take those chances because it is going to lead towards your goals. You know, when we can see it and we can feel it in our core, it seems more attainable. So I lit a candle, I grabbed a piece of paper and some watercolor pencils, so I'm going to create my vision board with you. Well, I want to have a beautiful house in the woods with my own studio. I want to have the skill set, technique, experience to bring anything I dream up to life without too many hiccups, because right now I have a very clear vision of what I want to create, but my hands just can't do it. I want to have a solid, stable community who understands my vision, somebody who supports me, a group of people who may, you know, give me the critiques I need for my art, help me succeed,
want me to do better, encourage me. Another thing that's really important to me is sustainability. I want to move in a direction where I create less waste as an artist. In that beautiful house in the woods, that studio, I'd love for it to run on its own water and electricity. I'd love for my supplies to be recyclable, reusable, and as non-toxic as possible. I want me and my family to stay healthy so that I have the stability, time, and energy to produce art. I feel like that's very important. I was very sick the last couple of years, and I feel like that hindered me in a big way. I think that is most important. Bigger note, it'd be great to collaborate with artists I admire. I love Tim Burton, Rob Zombie. I think Creature Kids team is amazing. Ace of Clay is really cool. I love the artistry that goes into haunted houses. Working for a big show or set would be a dream. Love to have a piece in a gallery at some point. That is another thing. And most importantly, I'd love to be a full-time artist. I would just love for my art to produce a sustainable income for me, because I feel like that's all that I can think about sometimes. Now, when I put the water on the watercolored drawings that I had made, it kind of turned out like doo-doo. It looks like a kindergartner did it, but that's okay because it's not about the look. It's more about the intention of creating it. I think that's the most important. At least that's what I tell myself.
Okay, so I think that's good for now. Let's come down from La La Land. Let's come down from Dreamland. Let's do a little shape-shifting. We are no longer artists. We are now boring, corporate gray businessmen. The type of men who make mission statements and goals and strategic plans. Did it work? One thing that really stood out to me that appears multiple times while making this vision board is that I'm asking for stability and sustainability in more than one aspect of this theme. I am seeing solid, stable. Now that I understand what's truly important to me, I think I have a clear vision for what I want. Now let's whip up a vision statement. If you're not that great at writing, I'm definitely not. The brain wants what it wants, and sometimes my cognitive dysfunction will not let me do something. But I sat down, I drank a whole Celsius, I figured it out, and I came up with something small and simple, short and sweet and to the point. And if you want to skip the step, it's okay just to put your vision board out on the wall somewhere you're going to see it every day. But for me, I came up with, my vision is to be a self-sustained, mastered artist uplifted by my community, creating art and collaboration that inspires while communicating values that are important to me. I think that's okay. I don't know. They really make you do a lot of jargon in the business realm. So I'm going to put this on my wall. Now that we've got the bigger picture, let's get into the nitty gritty. It's 2026. Okay, so you've got your big dream. You want to live in a penthouse in California. You want to have a giant gallery full of massive paintings that you've made, right? It's 2026, y'all. You got 1 year. Are you gonna get all that done in 1 year? Maybe. Maybe you will. I don't know. But probably not. So, we're gonna be realistic. Like I said. Last year I said I was gonna be a full-time artist. That's not happening, alright? In this economy, no. If there's one life lesson that I've been constantly learning, it's that progress comes through small steps. If you jump into something huge and you're not prepared for it, you will struggle. The struggle bus will take a sharp turn. It's going to roll off a cliff and you'll be in there rolling. Then you're left feeling discouraged. You might be worse off than you were before, and you might not succeed. You might not get back up. And as someone who always impulsively takes on bigger projects than I can handle, I get close to failing and the work ends up sucking because I don't have the skill set for it yet, and I just look like a dumbass. We're not doing that this year. God, where's the mirror? We're not doing that this year. So this is the question. What do we want to accomplish this year? Let's be real. You only have 365 days. You need to eat, you need to sleep, you might have other jobs, you need to find a way to make money if you can't make money through your art yet. Do you have to pay rent or mortgage? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you got somebody to support you. I don't know. That'd be cool. That'd be great. So what can you get done? After my end of year reflection from the last video, it truly helped me identify what I need to work on. I was able to identify what worked well and what didn't. So I would suggest you do something like that. If you have been trying to pursue something like this for a long time, Try to figure out what has been working for you and what hasn't. I would recommend doing that because for me it was extremely helpful, and I'm going to be following up on some of those points in this video. We also have to keep in mind, as we are identifying these goals, what do we define as success? From a corporate slug perspective, it's all about quantifiable numbers. So when we do a strategic plan, we have a goal with actual numbers. So if you make those numbers, you know that you've been successful. I will keep that in mind as I build my goals. So this is what I came up with. This year, I want to have at least 1,000 social media followers on my art page. And I know social media is very difficult for me, so we'll see how that goes. I want to vend at least 3 shows, with 1 outside of my town. I've been kind of in my comfort zone. I have been doing shows, but I've been doing them with the same vendor over and over. And it'd be nice to branch out to something perhaps in a bigger city. I want to be featured in a gallery, even if it's small and local. And I want to improve my skills, which I know will gradually just get better over time. So how are we going to accomplish this? How am I going to accomplish this? In regards to the social media aspect, I need to get my shit together, y'all. I'm trying my best. So we'll see. Growth comes with consistency, and I feel like that's something I'm bad at. However, I think with organization and visuals, I'll remember to put things out there. But it's also important to recognize that we're human. We're not supposed to be managing 12 platforms with daily original content that engages half the world population. I'm great at Snapchat. It's so low stakes for me. And when I post to my story, it feels like I'm putting something funny out there into the void. That's also where I connect one-on-one with my friends. I see it more as a messaging app, and it's very low brain power for me. Instagram, I love it for inspiration, and I think my artist algorithm is peak, but I have the hardest time reaching a real audience there. I feel like a lot of it is just monetized content. So having any type of authenticity is very difficult. TikTok gets more views, but I think putting short form content and videos together constantly can be exhausting, and I'm sick of it. I'm tired, boss. I started to use organizational apps like Buffer, and I will do some research on how to manage something like this because social media can feel like a full-time job. And would it even be more work to place something in an organization app rather than just post it right away? I don't know. Recently, I've been gaining reach by just being part of a real community. Look at that. Social media doing what it was intended to do in the first place. What? A lot of the people I've met at craft shows, whether they're patrons or other artists, connect with me and we support each other online. I absolutely love that. I love seeing a local base on my Instagram and knowing that I can buy someone's art and just like meet them at the coffee shop and they don't have to pay for shipping or something. Or I go to their shows and then I get to talk to them face to face about their methods. So that's really cool. This has made my experience on Instagram much more meaningful, and I'm looking to do more of that in this coming year because I'm planning to attend the Halfway to Halloween expos that are coming up in the cities. I'd love to explore some haunted house conventions and artist events as well. It'll be a fun way to organically grow, and hopefully that organic growth will expand. Right now I have about 90, so I only need 910 to go. When it comes to vending shows, I have a small network of event coordinators that I work with already. So last year I vended 4 shows. I do think that I want to elevate it and have more product. I want to have a bigger table. I'll be more prepared this year. Productivity wise, I think I will have much more to offer. I'm going to be a little bit choosier. One thing that I did learn last year is that bigger shows don't always mean the best either. You really need to find your niche. A show with 1,600 patrons, I thought that was going to be a great show for me, but it was also a Sunday and it was a lazy day for a lot of people, but also it was mostly an older crowd, an older womanly crowd that didn't quite appreciate my creepiness. I got a lot of interesting comments. So I'll be looking for shows that revolve around alternative art, Halloween, you know, the punk goth crowd. And lastly, being featured in a gallery. That one might be a little bit more of a challenge for me. I don't quite know how that one is going to work out. I think I'm going to do some heavy research, kick my butt into gear. If you're like me and you're disorganized, I think it's really important to maybe create a contact list of people you want to reach out to. Maybe create a list of galleries in the area. All I do know is that I need a gallery piece. So you probably can't present in a gallery if you don't have anything to show. Well, I'm gonna have wall art or something sculptural, something that can't be presented in a gallery, of course. So I've been using this app, Adobe Fresco. It's actually free. When it comes to something that I want to have a clear message for, I will draw it out because I don't want to misconstrue that message, but I also think it makes the creation process a lot easier when I know exactly what I'm going to make. And I'm hoping to have at least 2 finished gallery pieces, quantifiability, 2 finished gallery pieces by the end of 2026. And I'm hoping that by the last half of the year, one of my pieces will be presented in a gallery. As far as finding a place that will show it off, I'm sure I will. I'm cute. I'm nice. I'm sweet after all, right? Alright team, we're gonna circle back for a minute. What have you done recently to set yourself up for success? That's important, because you can just snowball onto that. You don't even have to come up with new concepts. Take what you've been doing so far, snowball that, circle back on that, and move it along. We'll progress from there. God, I should have wore a suit for this. What am I doing? So after we fleshed out all of our goals and we figured out how we are going to accomplish it, we have to set ourselves up for success. Because if the foundation isn't there, the whole house crumbles. Alright? Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Homestead Rescue lately, and Marty Rainey is my favorite person ever, and that's just how he talks, and so sometimes it just hits me. I don't know. If you're chaotic and forgetful like me, you need to have a second brain. What is a second brain, you ask? And anytime I need to brain vomit onto something, or I have like a really great idea and I don't want to forget it, I put it in my notes app, which I think is great because sometimes I'll just be like randomly in the middle of a movie or something and I come up with an idea, or I'm out to lunch and I can't like just go home and make whatever I came up with instantly. Like obviously I have to put it down. If I'm having one of those like goldfish attention span moments, I'll be working on like 4 or 5 things at once. So on my Adobe Fresco page I have like 5 or 6 different sticker designs, and if I'm really like struggling to maintain focus on one of them, I'll hop to another, and then I'll do that for like 10-15 minutes and my brain will be all they actually all end up being finished at the same time. So which is great for me because I'll probably be working on it for a whole month, and then by the end of the month I've got 5, and then I can print them out and it's productive. But this helps me work faster and more efficiently when the flow state just is not flowing. You know how they say everyone's New Year's resolutions always end like in the middle of February? Yeah, we're gonna try to move past that with these calendars. I'm not a structured person. It makes me want to vomit, but it's taken me this long in life to really truly appreciate and understand how important being organized is, even as an artist. Take 3 hours to just really figure out exactly what you're going to do, what time you're going to do it. You don't have to follow that to a strict T. I don't want you to feel like you're stuck, but once you have that out, you have a good framework for how you're going to move forward, and you're going to be much more prepared. And of course there's going to be slip-ups, there's going to be mistakes, there's going to be missed deadlines, but don't let that discourage you, because your goals are bigger than your ego. One thing that I've been learning and I keep trying to push past is perfectionism. Obviously, we want things to look really nice and really pretty, and we think that if we show something to the world, they're going to nitpick it down to the finest little scratch or speck on our pieces. And that's really hard for me as well, because when I see a piece of art or when I see something that I've made, I'm like, oh god, there's 800 things wrong with it. But this is one thing that I've been trying to learn, and I've been trying to tell myself, and I think you need to hear it as well. Done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. And we are going to lead with that as artists in 2026. Well, What do you think? It's cute, right? It's very cute. What a fresh way to start something new, to boost your motivation. That was a lot of work. I am sweating and I'm so hungry and I'm ready to eat. But if you're here, I am so glad you stuck around. I hope you got something useful out of my little clean and yap, and we're only going up from here. Leave a little comment below with some of your goals for this year. I would love to know what yours are. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. Next week I'll be showing you how to do the toxic waste barrel that I just made. And stick around if you want to see what I'm up to next. See you later. Bye.